You are. Yeah, but you made it sound good. You know,
Yeah, did you notice that?
It's okay. He said. Brian said it. Brian said to go jump off the cliff. It's okay. Brian said it. Hello. Welcome, boys and girls and children of all ages, to the greatest podcast in Louisville. I don't know if that's actually true.
I think it's probably pretty close to true.
But I don't know any other podcast in Louisville. So technically, at this moment, greatest podcast in Louisville, Kentucky.
I think that might be close to true, though.
If you disagree, let us know in the comments. We'll have a rival fight like they did in Anchorman.
There is one podcast out there that might possibly be better than ours.
Oh. Crappy network television?
Crappy network.
Would you like to plug yourself there, Charlie?
I will have to say that I really, Bazinga, I really enjoy both these podcasts, but this
the podcast,
the Crappy Network TV with Carla and Charlie, seems to be accepted a lot more by the ladies. And as I've stated on that podcast and this podcast, I do have the television habits of a 13-year-old girl. So if you're into those type of shows, we discuss those a lot. We're getting ready for this new season of TV to start. It's going to be fantastic.
I know. I can't wait to talk about that on our podcast.
I can't wait either.
Which you're currently on, known as the Five Live Bears, by the way.
Or Five Live Bears.
If you're according where you're from. But anyways, welcome to the Five Live Bear podcast. We are glad you're with us. If you were with us last week, we talked all about music, and we're going to continue that this week. But before we do, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing this fine Friday evening? Charles.
Well, by this point in time, the season premiere of This Is Us will have happened, and I will have shed many, many tears.
You will have shed and lost 10 pounds in tears.
Your lips to God's ears.
That rhymes. All right. Yeah. Johnny John survived another week of school.
I'm surviving another week of school, getting ready, getting hyped because the premiere of Magnum PI is getting ready to come on.
Oh, my gosh.
And,
no. I can't wait to talk about TV station. We're going to talk about that on the next podcast.
Okay, I have a rule in life, and this is my rule. I don't generally, as a rule, watch network television. So I produce or help produce their podcast. So a lot of times I'm sitting down here doing homework or reading a comic book or something while they're talking. I'm like, oh, gotta turn this on. I gotta turn that off. And so, but I caught a glimpse of this Magnum PI coming out.
Awful.
It looks absolutely horrible, but I can't wait to see it.
Next podcast, John's going to have on a Hawaiian shirt, a Detroit Lions hat, or Tigers hat,
that'd be awesome,
and a mustache.
I will do it. If I like it, I'll do it.
That's awesome.
I'll do it.
I can't wait. That's probably our next podcast. We're going to be talking about TV shows. But anyways, Aaron, I know you wanted to drop something real quick.
I'm a little creeped out is how I'm feeling. I saw the test footage for the Joker movie, and it's a little disturbing.
It's spectacular.
It's spectacular.
Thank you.
Oh, I liked it. I watched it 30
Jack.
times.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
It's got potential.
And the director makes genuinely disturbing movies anyway.
He made Kick-A, and is that who that is? It's Todd Phillips.
I thought he did. I must be thinking. I think I'm somebody else.
No, I'm thinking of somebody else. Who are you thinking? Aaron, I don't know. Steer us in the right direction.
I don't know.
Okay, good. We're clueless.
We're totally up on that.
Brian, what's up?
Not much.
All right.
Living the dream.
Ready
for my daughter's cross-country season to come to a close.
How many more meats? I'm sorry.
Meats.
How many more meats does she have?
At the point of this podcast, we should have 2 meats left.
And what do they last, like 5 hours? 5 or 6 hours?
No, I think we're usually there about an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay, so fill me in on how this works. And I no joke.
They run.
Well, I mean, do you all as parents, does parents run with them?
Oh, let's see.
Like down the sideline?
So we had never done this before, so I had no idea. There's crazy parents out there. I'm just going to put that out there for everybody. Some of these parents talk to their kids like they're greyhounds at the racetrack. I mean, pass them up, get them, knock them over, cut their legs out. I mean, sweep the foot, whatever. It's intense. But no, you're not allowed to run out beside your child because that's considered to be pacing, and your child will be disqualified. You're also not allowed to give your child a high five or anything like that.
Can you give him a Gatorade? Powerade? Can you give him a
Can
Powerade?
you throw water at them or anything?
No, you're not. No, that would be an assist. So you cannot do anything like that.
There's all types of rules.
Charlie, did you figure out what this guy made?
Yeah, I was thinking of somebody else altogether, but this is the guy that did The Hangover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see.
So the Joker gets roofied? What?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got Mike Tyson in there.
Well, he's done some serious films too. He did War Dogs, which is kind of serious. He did Due Date, which is not serious, but it's seriously a disturbing
Robert Downey.
film. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's done the remake of A Star Is Born, which I hate to admit it, but I kind of want to see that movie. Lady Gaga.
So both, with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
So both you and I were wrong about who Todd Phillips is. Awesome.
Nobody in this room is going to know who this is, but some people listening might. He did a documentary about Gigi Allen, which is the most disturbing human being ever of all time.
I don't know who that is. All right. Good stuff. Aaron, thanks for taking us down that rabbit trail with
I heard
the Joker.
Todd Phillips and I thought WWE.
Anytime.
All right. So we're going to jump into music. Charlie challenged us to come up with songs that describe each other.
Actually, Brian came up with that idea.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, wow, Brian. Well, of course, Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a lot of trouble with this, so some of mine is not going to be songs to describe, but just a song that maybe reminds me.
And that's what I went with too.
So that's what we're going to do. So why don't we select a person, and we each can then tell what song we picked that describes that person.
Sure.
So let's start with...
Let's go with John.
Let's go with John. All right, we're starting with John. Brian, start us off.
Battle Hymn of the Republic.
And why is that?
Because I go on tirades all the time.
Because it's just like a total Civil War type song feeling to me,
I'm
and
doing Glory
I always
Reality.
think of John in the Civil War. So that's the as soon as John's was the easiest for me to pick out because it was like Battle Hymn of the Republic. Bam.
Wow, that's great.
So.
That's great. Like that should have been your film song last week when we talked about that. Just John walks into the room.
If you need a tirade, I'll give you one.
I will give you about anything.
Tirade for hire. That's what I am. I just scream about
All
it.
right, Aaron, what is your song for John?
Well, I know he's a huge Beatles fan, so I went with Daydream Believer.
Well, if that had been a Beatles song,
That's awesome.
Oh, it was. I saw the documentary. It was Jack Nicholson and Davy Jones smoking pot, talking about their Beatles hit or something. I don't know.
I'm glad the first real drug reference to this podcast came from Aaron. That makes me super happy.
it's like that. My mom and dad used to have one of them anti-rock and roll books at home when I was a kid, and I'd thumb through it. And one of them was like, yeah, and the Beatles and that horrible drug song of theirs, Magic Carpet Ride. I was like, Steppenwolf. I was like 12.
Justice League.
I was like, all right, forget it. Whatever.
Nicely done, Aaron. Aaron told me earlier he was going to drop that. Nailed it, Aaron.
Nailed it.
Give yourself a Texas high five.
Because those are bigger.
There you go.
They are bigger.
Aaron, let me ask you a question while we're here. Do they sell big Texas cinnamon rolls down there?
They're huge. Yeah, they're giant.
Well, because they sell them at school. We were just curious if they sold them down there too. I didn't know.
Like it's actually like a brand.
Yeah, it's like a brand.
Big Texas.
We can't. We haven't.
Oh, I
seen
don't
them
know.
in a while.
I haven't seen them.
I was going to
I
have
don't
you go
usually
to.
shop for them.
I was going to have you go to Walmart and send me a box home.
Send me a box of big Texas cinnamon rolls. All right, Charlie, what's your song for John?
Well, as you all know, John is my brother-in-law, and I've known John for many years, since like '92. He's pretty much been part of the family. And in the last podcast, we mentioned Beatles a lot, and John. I mean, I knew about the Beatles, but the entire catalog of the Beatles was introduced to me by John. And the song that I remember, the first Beatles song I remember you playing for me was Maxwell Silverhammer.
We talked about that.
And I'm
earlier.
like, I mean, I remember as a kid just thinking, this is the neatest, funniest thing ever, even though it's a song about murder. But it's so sweet the way it's.
Oh yeah, they present it. They present murder so sweetly.
Exactly. So as it's just that's if I had to think, of course, it had to be a Beatles song.
Yeah.
Not Pleasant Valley Sunday. That's a better Beatles song, of course. But that's the one that just reminded me of John.
Believe it
first.
or not, I
I'm walking
talked
on
to
air.
Aaron earlier
I
today
have
at
drawn
work
you.
that
I've drawn you a shocked bear.
I was going to pick Maxwell Silverhammer for John because I said when I think of John, I think of the Beatles. My favorite Beatles song is Maxwell Silverhammer, but I was like, I don't know if I want to tell John that a murderous psychopath is a song that reminds me of him. So I
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
I mean, I went in a little bit of a different direction.
That's my thing. Kindness.
I figured Beatles would be a popular pick for John. So, one thing that has always blown me away from John. John and I have worked in children's and youth, and John just will out of nowhere come up with some of the most imaginative and creative things. The stuff he used to do in Vacation Bible School, the stuff we used to do in children's church. So I went with a little Gene Wilder, Pure Imagination.
Good. That's good.
That's my John song, because you imagined up some of the craziest stuff back in the day.
With a little help from your brother.
And now, Aaron also is a creative monster himself. But even since then, with your Ghostbusters,
that's coming back out here in the next couple of weeks.
See, there he goes.
I hope it fits.
Somebody had that on sale. They had made one like yours, $200.
Yeah, I got to get mine out and check it.
All right.
But I'm doing it again this year.
John, I trust you didn't pick a song for yourself.
I did not pick a song.
Okay. He's hyper confident. He might have.
I was thinking he may have.
I didn't pick a song for myself. I got several songs for myself.
All right. Next, let's go with Brian. Songs that we think describe Brian. Aaron, start us off with Brian.
I have no clue why this popped in my head.
That's scary.
But I'm just going to say it. I went with I Believe I Can Fly from Space Jam. I don't know why.
I will take that. That's a solid pick.
It somehow makes sense.
But it just screamed Brian.
That's a solid pick.
Oh, my gosh. That's so perfect.
Thank you.
It is perfect.
Thank you, Aaron.
Wow. I like it, Aaron. That's good. Charlie.
I had one, and then after the last podcast, it changed it. Originally, it was going to be Heartland by George Strait because, no one loves George Strait more than Brian does.
You see me get riled up over George Strait?
Yeah, I saw Brian almost attack a man over George Strait one time in high school when he was a junior and I was a senior. No, it was a teacher.
Oh.
It was Captain Steve.
Oh, yeah. Well, he probably deserved it.
Well, yeah.
Long-time listener.
First-time caller. But I'm going to change it, even though that's a great song and it's very, very Brian. I'm going to change it up with Family Tradition by Hank Jr. Because all of a sudden that just makes more sense since you pulled out David Allen Coe.
Thank you.
Man.
Thank you. It would have been that or Country Boy Can Survive. So.
Just now I was flipping a coin and
there you
Family
go.
Tradition won.
Either one.
John, your Brian song.
It's odd that we would all continue with the outlaw type mentality with Brian over here. But only thing I see when it popped in my head was Dukes of Hazzard theme song. That's just so Brian. That is so Brian to me. Every time I just think about Dukes of Hazzard, and it's not because he's wearing orange socks.
I didn't even know it, but the quarter did.
Yeah, it just kind of fits.
Thank you.
I was
almost like giving out Christmas presents.
I was trying to think of what is the song about the man that's like perfect and confident and this is like the perfect life. I almost thought about Jesse's Girl, just because like the guy's just jealous of him because like Brian's like somebody you'd be jealous of. But I went with something a little bit different. I went with one of the most confident songs I know. I went with the theme song for Shawn Michaels.
Yes!
Sexy Boy.
Thank you. Somebody got a wrestling reference.
I can't share in this with you.
You can.
We'll play it for you after the podcast and you'll laugh and cry.
Very Cherry will be here.
But yeah, because that's Brian. Because he is completely and utterly confident in himself in any form, in any shape. But that's
I just have this image of Brian wearing Shawn Michaels clothes.
With all the mirror on it.
And then, like, instead of firing somebody at work, he just gives them sweet chin music.
Like, come step into my office.
I'm striking up the band right now, boys. Thank you all. I appreciate that. That was like a Christmas present.
If you're Shawn Michaels, does that make me Triple H?
I think the actual first line of that song is "I think I'm sexy."
No. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy.
Yes.
I got the looks that drive the girls wild. I got the moves
there you go.
that really move them. I got chills.
But it's raspy Shawn Michaels.
It's
raspy. Anyways,
that was an amazing.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
Amazing rendition.
Brian. All right, let's do Aaron. Aaron, are you ready for this? Aaron, you're on mute. Are you ready?
There it goes. I couldn't get unmuted.
All right. Songs about Aaron. I'll start. Aaron and I, being brothers, I really wanted to go with Weird Al, White and Nerdy, because not because Aaron is both white and nerdy, but the song is really kind of like about all your pop culture nerd knowledge, and Aaron is that. But I went with there is a Smash Mouth song called "Story of My Life" that Aaron once actually proclaimed is about him. It is a song about everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. He shows up to the party just as it ends, everything like that. Aaron and I have well documented his life, that if something can go wrong in Aaron's life, it will go wrong. But it's kind of an inside joke with us. But that is Smash Mouth, "Story of My Life." That's my pick for Aaron.
That's
John.
a good one.
I went with the Weird Al angle because it seems like there for a while, and I can't remember as well. We were working in children's church together, or if it was when we were before that. But it just seems like Weird Al was always on, or it was part of Aaron's orbit all the time. So I went with "Like a Surgeon" from Weird Al.
Nice.
That just something about that sticks in my head with Aaron.
Probably when we first met, and I was rolling around on the floor. It's probably when we first met, I was rolling around the floor like him in that video.
kind of doing the Madonna Weird Al thing there. Yeah.
Aaron wore scrubs every day for 4 years.
All right, Charlie, song for Aaron.
You kind of stole my thunder earlier. It was "The Distance" by Cake.
The Distance.
Because we were friends starting freshman year of high school, and best of friends, and he never really talked about music that much, except for like older stuff, as you do. And there was some alternative stuff, I think Presidents of the United States of America and stuff like that. But he's like, you got to listen to this song. It's like he's not really rapping, but he's kind of rapping, and it's got horns in it. And it's weird, but it's about this guy racing. So I called up the local high school radio station in New Albany, Indiana.
Yeah.
WNAS
88.1, yeah.
And I was like, I'm looking for a song, and it's a guy that's kind of rapping, but he's kind of not. And he's like, "Are you talking about Rage Against the Machine?" I was like, "I don't think that my friend would like that band." I said, "Something about racing." I was like, "Oh, you're talking about Cake, The Distance. I'll play it next." And then I heard it like, "Oh my god!" And then as we said last podcast, if you're just now tuning in from last week, that record is one of my all-time favorite records. And Aaron showed me that record, and it's fantastic. Blew my mind.
There you go. And Aaron is convinced that the song is about Speed Racer, I think. But anyways.
Either way, regardless.
All right, Brian, songs for Aaron.
Well, I would have said American Pie, but we already talked about that.
Aaron.
But really, for me, it's Bohemian Rhapsody, because like what made me think of it
World
was
2 soundtrack.
When it first starts off, it's kind of quiet, and like when you first meet Aaron for the first time, I remember it's just kind of like, "Hey, I'm Brian. How you doing?" He's like, "Hi." Very quiet, but then you get to know him, and just like the song, it picks up and has this wealth of knowledge and just amazingness. So,
wow, Aaron, that was.
I
wish Brian.
And then I
do what Aaron you cut out.
And then I start singing opera. It's
that'd be
crazy.
awesome. You probably could though.
When I die, guys, I want Brian to do my eulogy. Just so you
know, man.
Gosh, can you go ahead and write it? Just go ahead and write it right now.
I don't
Just
have the
videotape it right now.
Tim, I don't have the words for you.
Wow.
Just in case something happens, we'll have it on video.
They made no words to describe you.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna write my own.
You would write your own because you're hyper confident.
We've done.
Nobody could do it as good as you, John.
Nah, I'd have to hand it to somebody.
That's how the
All
first
right,
line will read, isn't it?
let's do Charlie.
Nobody could do this like I wanted it done, so I did it myself.
All right, Aaron, give us your Charlie
Don't
song.
expect what you don't inspect.
What are you guys talking about?
They just quoted Brother Russell to blew my mind.
Me and Brian are having a side podcast.
I don't know what's going on. Talking about eulogies
of the Bears.
And Brian's just making quotes, and John's going along. Anyways, all right, songs about Charlie. Let's see if we can do this in about 8 minutes. All right, Aaron.
I don't know if he knows this song, but it's called "The Cap'em" by They Might Be Giants. And I don't know why, but every time I hear that song, I think of Charlie.
What's it called?
It's called "The Cap'em," CAP''M.
Okay.
But it may just be from when we used to do Charlie's Ward, and you were always doing the Green River Captain or something. I don't know, but it's in my head for some reason. So
All
"The
right.
Cap'em" by They Might Be Giants.
All right, John.
Charlie, one of the things I remember about our youth or our younger time was his incredible love for Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
mean, it was like he'd come over to my house and he'd wear the long trench coat. I was like, "This is Johnny Cash trench coat."
Totally stole my song.
Him and my sister would like hang out. They'd be like Johnny Cash, and so I went with Folsom Prison Blues.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm safe.
You and I are probably on the same.
you and I are probably going to the same one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely my song for Charlie. Folsom Prison. Sorry.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
I went with Johnny Cash, The Man in Black.
Oh, no. I got a different one.
I really like
a
the
good
lyrics
one,
to
too.
it, and it was when I think of Charlie, it's
You
and
think
what
I
he
fight
does,
for the
it's-
downtrodden? That's pretty awesome.
You're the protector of them
That's
and the
right.
savior.
Well, I'll go for it.
I went with
Hey, Tim.
what, Aaron?
Wait. Can I guess it? Was it Boy Named Sue
Yeah,
by Johnny Cash?
Boy named Sue. No, I went
No.
when the man comes around.
Oh, that's a
good
great
one.
one.
Yeah, I think of Dawn of the Dead,
I was saying this was Down in the Dead.
and I think of Charlie.
Nice.
So that is it. All right, and finally, Charlie, I'll let you MC this part about me.
All right. Let's have John start off with the Tim songs.
Yeah, this is going to be awful.
Oh man,
No, you're gonna
Well,
fall in love with me for
mine's
this
probably
All right,
probably
yeah, love
awful
it.
because I can remember there was this
probably
at a early point in all of our lives
Oh
we
my
were
gosh,
doing
I know what you're gonna
we
do.
were
one. I think we have the same one.
Oh my gosh!
we were probably
nobody
doing,
has mine, Tim. You don't have to worry
and
about it.
Thanks.
Tim and I can't remember who else was involved.
It was
with
me.
Was it you? But they had this. They had this
We were talking about
singing
Paul
group.
McCartney and the Wings song.
singing group. No, it is.
No, that's not it. But
Oh, I thought you
They
guys
had
were
this
gonna go.
singing group that they called Sassified or
Yes.
something, and it was we couldn't do it nowadays. There's no way. But
We did this.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
it was Charlie's word. It
Yes.
was that we were effeminate musicians, but we had hot girlfriends.
Wow, I don't remember.
Yeah,
this.
Sassy.
Sassy fat.
Sassy
Yeah.
fat.
I do
Yeah.
not remember this, but go ahead.
But
Sorry,
one
I
of
lost
Tim's
half my
favorite
memory.
songs of all time, because I think he had it like on a single and everything, was "Breakfast at Tiffany's."
Oh
Dang it!
yes,
That take yours?
Yes!
yes.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I did.
That's
I
a good
love
one.
the Breakfast at Tiffany's
And
song.
he was like, "Man, y'all gotta listen to this song."
Deep
you
Blue something.
say we listen together. And I was like, I'm gonna go listen to them.
Everybody's attacking.
It's my Sergeant Pepper's.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's not really my jam. But
But every time I hear that song, it makes me think of Tim.
every time I hear it now, I'm like,
I won't turn it if it's on the radio. I won't turn it because it's Tim's song. Well, Brian,
Yes.
you're up next.
Brian,
Well, I think
please
of
build me
one.
back up, Buttercup.
Well, this is a song that I remember. The reason why I picked this song is because you and I memorized every word to this
I probably know what it is.
down in your basement, and it was Gangster's Paradise, Dangerous Minds, Coolio. And I remember getting that. We just listened to that thing over and over again until, like, in one night we had the whole thing memorized.
Tell me, why are we so blind to see?
That's right. What reminds me. Anyways,
Aaron-
Oh my gosh.
Aaron, what you got?
here's the brotherly love right here.
Aaron.
It's my turn. Okay.
No,
I was
it's-
going to
it-
say. I was going to say Ace of Base, It's a Beautiful Life, just because the sassy press thing, and just because
sassy.
to listen to that all the time.
Everybody else got encouraging words. I'm just getting made fun of.
Mine was
No,
either-
we're not making fun of you at all.
No, it's just
That's a cool
it's just your
memory I have
style.
of you, yeah.
It was either that or
Not you, Brian. You
B-52s.
didn't make fun of me.
It had to been something by the B-52s.
Love Shack.
Love
Love
Shack?
Shack would have, yeah. That's kind of in that same vein, but I went with the Breakfast at Tiffany's.
All right, Aaron.
Okay, so I went with Little Brothers from Phineas and Ferb, just because that song reminds me of you every time I hear it.
Wow.
And
Does it make
if you
cry?
don't know, yeah, it does. Phineas and Ferb has fantastic music. If you've never heard it,
I
so
actually have a Phineas and Ferb album. Yeah, it's good stuff.
yes.
Do you know the band behind Phineas and Ferb music? Bowling for Soup.
Yeah, I do. Now you say it, I do. Yeah.
Not my favorite.
Wow. All right.
I'm
So
not
that
being
is
involved,
it. That is songs.
Well, I had to come up with another one for you.
Oh, okay.
Since John stole
All
mine.
right, go
Since I
for
took
it.
it.
And this, I don't know why it makes me think of you, but it does, and it always has. I don't know why. End of the World by R.E.M.
Into the World by R.E.M.
Yeah, End of the World as we know it. I feel fine. I don't know.
there's no-
I don't know.
All right. Into the world.
That or the Friends theme song.
I did.
Yeah,
I
the
did
Friends
love
theme song, too,
Friends-
yeah.
It
by
does
the
make me
Rem-
think of Tim.
the Rembrandt
Well, Tim
song.
was far more into like show tunes and stuff, though. And he's still
Still kind of
in his
You like
defense.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
I wanted to put the Hamilton soundtrack in my favorite records, but I thought it was too new.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's just where he's at in life. You know, just, he's in a show tune stage.
he's at the stage in life.
He's in this show tunes life stage.
Thanks for listening to us, folks.
Next week on the Four Live Bears. Anyways, that is songs about each other. If you have a song that reminds you of one of us, let us know in the comments. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back to talk about some more music in just a minute. Is that John Lennon Christmas song?
This is a new one.
I like it. It's really building. Welcome back to the Five Live Bears podcast. We're talking music. In case you missed the first half, we talked about songs that reminded us of each other, and I got reminded of my terrible music choices as a younger. As a
You
younger
didn't mean to hurt
person.
your feelings, Tim.
It's all right. I'm a sensitive guy.
Well, I kind of went after it with the Breakfast at Tiffany's thing.
Yeah, you,
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, John. I did. Anyways,
I'm super confident.
I'm
Hyper confident.
I'm super confident in tearing down other people. Anyways, we're going to talk about now. Charlie brought up for us to find 3 different songs that kind of help define different parts of our lives. A song from our childhood, a song from our teenage years, and a song from our 20s. So let's start with song from your childhood years. John.
I lost my list. Hold
All right, Charlie.
Come back to me.
From the 80s and from my childhood years under the age of, let's say, 12, the song that I remember a lot and that I remember being my favorite song when I was a kid was I Got My Mind Set on You by George Harrison.
Oh, my gosh, I love that song.
The video was awesome.
The video was awesome. My dad used to smoke pipe tobacco all the time, and he had like almost the same setup that the squirrel that was playing the pipe as a saxophone was, and it just blew my mind as a 10-year-old.
That is my favorite Beatles, non-Beatles song.
Oh yeah, it's the greatest Beatles song that happened after John Lennon died.
A little thing though, talking about pipe smoke. I know it was your dad did it for his own health, but I missed the Thanksgiving Christmas pipe smoking.
Yeah.
that was nice.
Aaron, are
The
you
smell
there?
was just- I just want to get something and burn it. It was really nice.
Yeah, hold on. I'm
Okay.
looking
All right.
up something.
All right, Brian. That was a good one, Charlie.
This was actually a tougher choice for me than I thought. The song I remember listening with my grandfather a lot was "Smoky Mountain Rain" by Ronnie Millsap,
Nice.
and that or something from Conway Twitty, one of those two. But "Smoky Mountain Rain" really stands out to me.
Some good moments with your grandfather there.
Absolutely.
Are we going with "Hello, Darling" or "Heartache Tonight"? Where we going? Unpopular opinion: Waylon Jennings, Conway Twitty's version of "Heartache Tonight" is better than the Eagles' version of "Heartache Tonight."
Yeah, probably so. Probably "Hello, Darling."
It's a good song.
Okay. Aaron, are you there?
Yeah, I was all ready to say a Weird Al song, probably Yoda, until Charlie just said his choice, and then it clicks up in my head. So I'm going to go with You Can Call Me Al by Paul Simon.
Nice.
It's a good song.
I remember watching that music video as a child over and
With
over,
Chevy
just, Chevy Chase,
Chase.
and we just loving that song. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Those are 2 great songs that I lumped together in my mind, those 2 songs.
They had to have. They probably didn't come out the same year, but in my opinion, in my mind, they came out like the same day. I heard
They were both on VH1 on the top 10 at the
Yeah.
same time. Yeah. I went with a Weird Al song, mainly just because my childhood. Did you mess up our?
No,
recording there?
it'll be all right.
All
We'll
right.
just have to. We'll just have to. Video just have to be shorter.
All right. I remember from my childhood, we pretty much listened just to oldies or gospel or Weird Al. And probably the first Weird Al song I really remember was "Eat It." It came out when I was like 1, I know, but it was probably the first one that I remember that stuck out. Weird Al, "Eat It," and Weird Al has been a part of my life music wise like since a child. Real quick, we're gonna reset our camera just one second.
I'm
No,
not
we're
worried about it. We'll
Okay.
just use the first 30 minutes on it.
So John, We did John, right?
No, I haven't.
Nope, we have not done John's yet.
From my childhood now, when I was little, I was into anything that was a story song, just anything, and that seemed to be the era of the country story song. So the song from my childhood that I remember the most, and still like to this day, I even watched the movie, was Kenny Rogers' "The Gambler."
Oh yes,
Great choice.
That was my song
one.
because you got to know when to hold.
Yeah, as a child, I really wanted to know when.
Yeah, when do you hold
If
them?
I
When
knew
do you
those
hold them?
things, everything would be all right.
You know, now as you talked about movies or stories and stuff, you know, a Never-Ending Story theme song. You know, you guys say I'm all about soundtrack. I love that song as a child.
Never saw it.
The never-ending story.
You never saw that movie? You are lucky.
Hey, Falcor is a luck dragon. He's amazing.
It's one of my.
I would have left that stupid horse. There's no way I would have cried
That is
over it.
one of the saddest moments of my childhood.
dumbest horse.
That horse dying.
Stupid horse.
Sure.
All right.
Anyway,
That's
not what
all right. Let's talk about songs that really stick out in our teen
Are we
years.
recording?
Yeah, we're just
doing
video. We're
audio.
not doing more video.
Yeah. Sorry if those watching on YouTube, you're no longer watching.
Finally, I can take my shoes off and not feel weird about it.
we'll use first 3 minutes.
Songs from our teenage years that either had a impact on us or something like that. So we'll start with Aaron.
Hey, real quick, I just thought of the Tim song that I was going to use, but I didn't because I figured everybody else would have, and that was "The Devil Went Down to Georgia," just to make Tim feel better.
Thanks,
so
Aaron.
just throw that out there.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. I'm required again by law to say American Pie for my teenage years.
Do you want to talk about it at all, Aaron? You want to share?
It's really a crazy song that the lyrics are all over the place. There's all kinds of different meanings, and you can ask any person what it means, and they'll tell you something different. And it's telling a story, but you don't quite understand it. It's just a really interesting song.
Okay, Brian.
It was a toss-up between Gin and Juice and Ain't Nothing But a G Thing. But no, I ended up going with Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish.
Thought you were going to really go there with
So Baby Got Back. I was
Regulators.
Regulators! So,
Nate
Warren
Dogg.
G.
Sir, about
Gosh,
Nine Inch
Nate
Nails.
Dogg had such good
That's right.
lyrics.
But really, I should have... No, let me take that back.
All right.
The song of my teenage years, because this is from when I was going to public school, we listened to it every single day on the bus for the entire 45 minutes, and that's why he has a special place in my heart. Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby.
Oh, yes. Everybody remembers where they were the first time they
That's
heard
right.
Ice Ice Baby.
That's right.
We had that moment of silence there.
I really
Yeah,
couldn't
but-
remember. I was trying to think.
Yeah, I remember.
Just remember that everybody had
I was
lines
at
in
the
their
Champs
hair.
Brother Doe.
I had two that stuck out to me. In teenage years, I tried to transition away from songs like Breakfast at Tiffany's and stuff like that. Thanks to you guys. But I remember Spiderwebs by No Doubt
Yeah, that's good.
was probably the reason I went out and bought Tragic Kingdom. Was because
No Doubt was serious back in the day, though.
it was some good stuff.
I like No Doubt.
but also Peaches by President of the United
Oh,
States.
Peaches, yes.
The music video where they're just singing out in the field and all of a sudden ninjas just attack them and stuff. It is a staple of my teenage years. Remember that, and I ever since that I kind of enjoy the punk pop sound. For lack of better words, I don't really know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But that's the type of music I kind of usually lean towards. Teenage years, Charlie.
Now, John made a joke about remembering where you were the first time you heard a song. The song that changed my outlook on things and kind of made me really get into the whole grunge movement and all that stuff, and decide that flannel and combat boots were the best look for me. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Smells
I
like
was
Teen
I was
Spirit.
literally a mile from here at a pizza joint.
Took mine.
Oh, sorry.
I'm still going to say it. though,
Yeah.
'cause we have different stories.
Every Sunday after church, we'd leave. We'd go to this pizza place called Pizza Perfect on the corner of Greenwood and Terry. And we would go in, we'd order the pizza, we'd wait for him to fix it, and then we'd go home. And I was sitting there playing pinball, and I love playing pinball. then and to this day, I'll always play some pinball. And that opening riff came on the TV. They had MTV on this giant screen TV. Right. And I lost my pinball game and didn't even care, and just was enthralled by that song, and it was just all I could think of for the next few weeks, and told everybody in the world that I knew about it, how awesome it was. I was like 13.
I think I first heard that song in my art class in Florida, because my teacher would play the radio. Remember that, and like Runaway Train, Eric. You know, runaway songs like that.
Song what?
He said Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Oh, there you go.
Good. Thanks, Aaron. All right, John, you want to build on that?
He took mine, but I'm going to talk about it anyways because it did. Me and my friend next door were complete just metalheads growing up. Now, neither one of us could dress the metalhead because he went to Holy Cross and I went to Beth Haven, so the long hair wasn't going to fly very far, especially with either one of his devout Catholic parents or my devout Baptist parents. But we were way into the metal scene for a long time. The hair band scene, I guess, was talking about Rat, and Motley Crue, and Poison, and all these groups. And it was like 1990, I think it was. He had a CD player that was probably as big as our television now, back in the day. He came over my house one day because my mom and dad were never going to let us listen to it at our house. So he said, "Hey, man, come over. So I came over and said, "What?" He said, "You got to hear this." It's like, "What?" He says, "This is a new group. Got to hear it." So all right. And he put that thing in, and that first riff came off that.
Amazing.
And we just looked at each other. And the next day when I came over his house, all his metal, all his hairband posters were gone. And I mean, it was just such a defining song of our teenage years. I mean, 1990, 91 there, because it was just hairband, and overnight it was just boom. And I don't think there is ever, not maybe since the British invasion of the 1960s, has there been such a wave of music like you had from 1990 to 1994, 1995. With all those, just because everybody was putting out an alternative, everybody was putting out something at that point.
Even Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Yeah, but you had groups like Tripping Daisies and all those off the wall,
Better Than Ezra,
Blind Melon, just all these group presidents of the United States came out a little bit later than that. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with that too. Smells Like Teen Spirit is definitely the song of my late teens.
Charlie, I was really hoping you'd drop a Jesus Freak from DC Talk on us.
That was a good one too. Yeah, that was pretty.
What are people gonna do when they find out it's true?
Oh.
So that is everybody, right? Songs from our teenage years. So we're gonna now talk about songs that represent our 20s. So songs from our 20s. And
Tim, why don't you start on this one?
So this is going to be a little half serious here, a little bit about my life. In my 20s is obviously when I was trying to find a wife, and everybody in here knows that I went through a really rough breakup in my early 20s. And so I have two songs to define my 20s because they both kind of work together. Early in my 20s, there was one girl that I dated for a while, not the ones that you know, it was a different one, and it didn't work out. And then there was the one that you all do know about, and obviously didn't work out also. But Extreme More Than Words was just...
Oh, that song is so good.
You were not going to say that, were you?
No, I was trying to think of something.
It's a song people like to make fun of, but it's a good song. It's a good pop song.
It's off their album Pornograffiti, which the rest of the album's not great at all. It's got a couple songs.
Wholehearted. Come on, man. I will fight you over Wholehearted.
Okay. But most of the album's not that great. But the video for that, anything, but the words behind it meant a lot to me, wanting more than just words. But then I met my wife. We got married. And this song came out right before we got married. I went through a rough patch trying to get over the past relationship. And truly realizing what I had in my current wife. And the All American Rejects came out with a song called Gives You Hell. And
it's a good song.
It really painted a crystal clear picture for me about my life and about the past relationships and where I was at. And so that is a defining song of my 20s. So to get a little serious on you, that's my stuff. So, Charlie.
I have two also. When I got into my 20s is when I really got into like older music, even more so than before, especially punk. And quote unquote new wave, which isn't really a thing, but we're not going to get that deep. But a song that I heard it's still one of the few songs I can listen to over and over and over again. It's by a band called Devo, and everybody knows Devo, the song "Whip It." And they've got a song called "Gut Feeling," and it's really like somber for them. And the opening lyrics are just fantastic. Something about the way you taste makes me want to slit my throat. I mean, it's this bass-driven song, and music is awesome. And then at the end of the song, they tack on another song called "Slap Your Mammy," and that's just basically they keep saying "Slap Your Mammy" over and over again. So that's Devo being all awesome and Devo-ish. But just that whole like 70s and 80s, we're not going to be anything like anybody else. We're not going to do anything that is expected of us. And that kind of, not that I was ever quote unquote punk rock, but I needed that philosophy to kind of get me through the things that I was going through. And then another song that I found then is newer punk rock. Everybody's heard of the Dropkick Murphys, but this was before they were popular. They had their last really great album was called Blackout. They had a song called "World Full of Hate," and it sounds like it's all like metally and stuff. But it's Irish. It's an Irish folk song,
right?
And it's the chorus is "Correcting mistakes in a world full of hate never changes anything," and that's. I deal with anxiety so much, and always like, oh well, if I done this differently, or if this could be changed, but you can't change anything. It's all done. Nothing's going to change it, so just move forward. Those are the two kind of formative songs from my 20s.
All right. John.
I got to go back a little bit here, just real quick. Back to the teen one, something just popped in my head when we were talking about More Than Words, because that song, I think that song was big, like when I was a freshman in high school. I think that was. But the first day that I got to drive myself to school as I think it was like a junior or something. My sister was with me. We got in the truck to go, and it was just that absolute sense of freedom. You know, nobody, just me and her were going to drive. And clicked on WDJX, and Roxette's Joyride was on. And it was just, that has stuck between me and her. I mean, because like every once in a while, something will pop up on, she'll text me or instant message me or something. She's like, hey, Joyride was on. Do you remember that time we were in the truck going to school? And so that was really a defining song of that era. I mean, you know, of that 90s, late 80s, early 90s, I guess, I don't sound political, but pre-9/11 type of mentality that we kind of had back then. It was very, very cool. For my 20s, I had to think about this one a little bit because, I mean, that was when I really started having some money, could buy a lot of things. But one that really stuck out to me about that time period was me and Carla were at the Walmart in Litchfield, Kentucky. That was what you used to do back in the day. You'd stop there on your way down to the farm, and we would just buy a CD. I mean, you know, it was just even people that we didn't know. And this was before Train was even anybody. I mean, this was like a self-released album that Walmart had, their very first album that came out, just Train. I don't know what year it came out in, but Meet Virginia was, I mean, that was a song that would just kind of define that period of time. I don't know why, it just kind of stuck out in my head, but I can remember listening to that over and over and over, that CD over and over on the way up in.
Is that Drops of Jupiter or whatever it was?
That's on one of their later ones.
I don't know.
That is by Train, though.
Yeah, it's by Train, but it's.
I respect your song, but man, I hate Train. But
anyways. I'm not a huge Train fan, but.
But no, Meet Virginia was a big song with it.
I can cut loose on I can cut loose on some Train songs on a ukulele later. Yeah, I'll play you one later.
All right, Brian, what do you got for us?
I had two as well. The first one was "It's My Life" by Bon Jovi. Nice. And then the second one, this is one that I'll get made fun of, but for some reason,
nobody makes fun of
when I was in my 20s, I got this bright idea I was going to train for the mini marathon. And so I started listening to songs that had a faster cadence to them.
Come on.
Eye of the Tiger is very important to me, but there were several Nickelback songs, and so Photograph was one of the ones that I really liked.
For some reason, everybody else that said that, I'd be like, "That's stupid," but you, it makes sense. It's fine. It doesn't. I kind of was going to listen to Nickelback now.
If I would have said, I love Nickelback, everybody been like, get the heck off this podcast.
Of course you do. It's just like Deep Blue. Shut up.
Aaron, what do you got for us?
I went with Second Chances by Shinedown.
I don't know that
I don't know.
song.
I know Tim knows that song.
You would know it if you heard it. It was out on the radio. Anyways.
It's the one about tell my mother, tell my father, I've done the best I can.
Anyways.
I can't think of the lyrics right now. Yeah.
It's a good song, though, about second chances.
It's a song about, stepping out on your own, making your own decisions, and don't be mad. I got to make my own mistakes and stuff. And it's a good song.
For some reason, the only song that's playing in my head is "I Take My Chances" by Mary Chapin Carpenter.
Oh my gosh,
it's perfect. That's it. Yeah. All right, so those are our songs defining our lives. Anybody want to name a song from their 30s? We all are.
I'll name one.
All right, John.
Christmas Day, 2003.
Were you 30 in 2003?
Yeah, I was just I turned 30 and
you're an old man.
I am an old man. But Outkast, not Outkast.
I was about to say, really? Not
Miss Jackson? What?
No, Hey Ya.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah, Outkast.
Yeah, Outkast. Okay, that was the number one song on Christmas Day of 2003 when Susie was born.
Were you shaking it like a Polaroid picture?
We were, yeah, we were trying to get her here. Never have a baby on Christmas Day because none of the nurses want to be there.
Rules to live by.
The doctor comes in and she's like,
"Let's have this baby."
No, not with you.
Tim,
hey, yeah.
I don't know yet on 30s. Aaron, you got anything from this decade of your life?
I'll go with "Dead Man" by Jars of Clay. It's a good song.
Still sticking with you in your 30s?
Yeah, I think so. Was that in my 20s? It may have been. I don't know. They
it doesn't
all
have to
run
be
together.
one
But that's
specifically from that time frame, just one that means something to you from that time frame in your life.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
All right. Charlie, you got anything?
We have kind of skirted around the issue of the fact that I am divorced, and there is a song by, you guessed it, the Ramones, that just kind of really always stuck with me after that ended and my marriage ended. It was "Glad to See You Go" by the Ramones. I know the score. I don't want you anymore. Don't need you because you're a bore. Yeah.
It kind of goes back
And
to
it's
my
very happy and very just glad. And then, interestingly enough, a friend of mine, we were having a discussion about songs that remind you of people, and that was the one she picked for me. She's like, "She's not dated anybody really wonderful." Well, thanks.
Thanks a
One
lot.
from my another honorable mention from
Reminds me of my
teenage years
All-American Rejects song.
was our junior year. Ugly Kid Joe's "Everything About You" came out.
God, it's such a good
And that
but
was just
awful song.
Such a
I don't know
revenge
if I know that song.
I hate everything about you. Oh, we had to play it for you.
I hate everything about you. In the video, they're flying a blow-up doll like a kite.
No, I don't know that.
I mean, this was like Ugly Kid Joe was a good band, but they had the unfortunate luck of being put out like the week before Nirvana. It smells like Teen Spirit hit the radio.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, this stuff's hair metal. It's great. And then Smells Like Teen Spirit. They're like, Ugly Kid who?
Yeah, pretty much.
They did a cover of Cats in the Cradle that almost kind of got it, and then they got blown away.
Brian?
For the 30s, it would be Lily Loved Catfish Dinner by Luke Bryant, and we had to play it every Saturday morning before she went to her soccer game. I have no idea why, but she loved that song.
Sort of jazz up.
Yeah, she was like, "Dad, we gotta play the Catfish song," and she would just jam in the back. But that, and she loved Adele. So set the rain on fire or something like that.
Rolling in Deep.
Set Fire to the Rain.
Set fire to the
Fire
rain.
to
Yeah,
the Rain.
yeah, she loved that song.
And then Adele sing that song, "Hello."
Yeah, it's making somewhere from.
Only
the
thing I remember about
outside.
that song is I was out at a Brian's killing his mic stand over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Calm down.
Was we were at
Dropping. I got to keep tightening it.
we went to we were at a music store one time, and these guys were in there and had a synthesizer, and they would only keep saying the same 3 lines of hello. They just kept saying it over and over again. We were trying to buy a piano, and they're like, hello. It's like, shut up.
That's awesome. Every time somebody walks in the store, hello.
We're in Guitar World, and the only thing you 3 can do is stand there and say hello from Adele
Hello.
into a synthesizer.
That's right. Hello.
Hello.
Good stuff.
It's pretty
Well,
good.
that's really good music from everybody. Songs that have meanings and have touched our lives in different ways, or have just stuck with us for whatever reason. So if you know any other songs you want to drop us a line on, tell us a story about, leave it in the comments. Let us know. We always like to know what everybody else is listening to. But thanks for checking us out. We'll be back next week, hopefully talking about the fall TV shows. But as always, thanks for listening to us. Sorry, Brent.
See you later, players.
Aaron.
Everybody knows the devil was a better fiddle player than Johnny.
It's a true story. He smoked Johnny on the fiddle.
Check us out. Facebook, SoundCloud, Google Play, and every other
Facebook, everything.
Facebook.
Charlie, come back. Charlie, come back.